Hello, friends, and welcome to the Weekend Catch-Up Club, the coffee morning show brought to you live every Saturday at 10 a.m. direct to Twitch and available later on demand. You've thrown me with your camera. Later on demand at youtube.com/gamertagged and podcast services. We're having some technical malfunctions today, but it's all good because we've got blisteringly amazing audio. Don't worry, don't panic. It's all going to be fine. Joining me today to replace Jamie, who's been in the job for 2 weeks and now wants a vacation. What is that all about? Sara Lynam is my new co-host. Woo!
Whoop, 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 whoop. It's me.
How are you doing?
Without a working camera, apparently. I've got the laptop camera down here. I'm just sort of crouched over, like a weird golem.
We've got an amazing view of your microphone, though, so that's awesome. You're kind of like you're chopped off from the head, almost. But it's okay. We'll make it work. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody panic. This is live production in a nutshell.
This is ridiculous, but it's also very hilarious.
I'm actually. Oh God, hold on. Let me try. Can I actually adjust your camera? Maybe I can't do that. Okay, I was going to do a spotlight camera, but it's cropped in so much that we can only see your microphone. So maybe we'll just do the two up side by side instead. Maybe that's not going to work. But it's all good. But I'm actually getting a better view of your sound booth. I've never really had this view before, so. Explain to our listeners and viewers where you are. You look like some kind of. Are you the new Doctor Who, and this is your new TARDIS?
Yeah. This is my TARDIS. When I go inside, I create voices and crazy worlds in here. But yeah, it's a massive box that's literally in my living room, which is custom built as a studio, all like acoustically treated and all ready for loads of voiceover.
It's amazing. And speaking of voiceovers, can you explain exactly what voiceover is, Sara? People who don't know.
It's a big question because it means lots of things and there's loads of different types of voiceover. But one of my favorite types of voiceover is voicing characters in like video games or animation. So basically voiceover is giving voices to things, be it characters or that annoying person who says press 1 to access this, press 2. That's also voiceover.
The
selling you products. That's the other thing. selling you products in video games. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. So it's been a little while since you've been on the show. I had to look back, and the last one we did was an amazing group show, like a kind of creativity panel, which was awesome. And that was way back in May, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was like May 22nd or thereabouts when the show got published. Anyway, I think we recorded it earlier than that. I thought, oh my God, it's been far too long since we've had Sara on the show, and I had to get you back as soon as possible. There we go. We can get a better view of Sara. Yay, we can see you. So what have you been up to for the past, like from May to now? It's been a long time since we've had a good old blether.
Yeah. And that means it's been almost a year, which is absolutely insane because we're basically in February now, aren't we? Almost.
Practically.
What have I been doing? Oh my goodness. I've been doing loads of our podcast for Uncanny Collective, which was really fun. So me and 3 others are part of our theatre company. We started a podcast in lockdown because we didn't have a creative outlet, so we were like, okay, let's do something that we can all do from home. Paul and Steve, who are our writers, wrote a bunch of stories, and Connor and I recorded them in this little box. And you can now listen to that. It's all on Spotify or iTunes. What's the Apple one? Is it iTunes?
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. She says professionally knowing what.
They went with a really confusing naming convention there. Just Apple Podcast. That's it. Done.
No, I don't understand. It's too simple. I don't like it.
So it's on every platform under the sun. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's really quite like theatrical productions almost, aren't they? But like radio serial drama kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that comes from the place of it originally was meant to be live material that then got reworked as audio, and so it has a theatricality to it, just kind of accidentally because of the way it was originally meant to be. So that's really cool, and I really enjoy doing that. I do quite a lot of the tech side of it as well, like the editing and soundscape building and stuff like that. So that's really fun. I've been sort of teaching myself that, and yeah. So if you enjoy the background stuff, that's good too.
That's all you. I hope you're getting like paid twice for that, because that's like 2 roles, isn't it? You've got.
Yeah,
like, see.
This is why I need you, Ross. You need to remind me of things like that.
Talent management. That's my side.
And the words Apple Podcast. That's the other reason why I need you. Because
it's always useful to remember the platforms on which you're going to be broadcasting on. I'm like the PA on the side that has to remind the talent like what it is that they're here to talk about and how to promote their thing that they want to promote. Say this, Sarah. We're on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else.
I just need a script. That's what I need. If I improvise, it just sounds like hogwash.
Yeah. So has obviously like you've got a professional sound booth and everything. Mm-hmm. Has like the work been like more challenging for you being remote, or is it just like par for the course? It's super easy, because you get kind of like in the room with your like director, so to speak, giving you like pointers and direction. It's like, oh, we really like what you did with that line, but could you just like do a little bit of inflection on this line? Is it kind of the same doing it over VC, or is it like, is it not? Do you have the same kind of energy, or is there something kind of missing there, or is it like you're such a well-oiled machine now? It's like, whatever, just give me the script, I can bash this out super easily. I'm a pro.
I mean, it's a mixed bag. It's always different. It depends on the person. What's quite nice about being at home, if you don't have a video on, you can sort of sit there and be like, sort of seethe quietly, and they can't tell that you think they're giving ridiculous direction. But also, it's not too different, I don't think, because even if you are in studio with someone, your booth tends to be a separate little room anyway. So you might have a window where you can see through to where the director is. But, I mean, even then, you're listening to them through headphones anyway. So I think the only difference really is maybe you can't see them doing this.
The body language gesture, yeah.
It's like, could I just get more? It's like the Toast of London thing.
It's like that very useful direction of just body gestures. Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
More,
Thank you for that.
This. A bit of this. Like, how do I put that in my voice? I don't know. What do you want from me?
We're cutting this into a mixtape now of just you doing flamboyant arm gestures.
Yeah, that plus a video of me dancing to your intro music, and that's, put that on YouTube. That's content. That's what that is. That
is the content that everybody is here for. They don't care about listening to me just sit here in my cardigan and my black tee and my headphones. They want the guests to just go nuts with the theme music. Yeah. A jam, I
put some lights on as well in the background.
I did see that. I thought maybe that's what tripped your web camera before. Maybe that's what it was. Like,
the partying was too extreme in this little box. It was like, no, I'm out.
Oh God. So you've been hopping in, lurking to my streams recently, and that's what kind of got us back like chatting, because it's been a little while since we properly chatted. A little bit of kind of Twitter back and forth, but all of a sudden I can't get freaking rid of you because you're in my streams, and that's because we're doing a big Dark Souls playthrough run on Twitch, which has been amazing because there's a little game coming out soon called Elden Ring, which is apparently going to be like a sleeper indie title. It's not much fanfare around it at all.
Not a big deal.
No. But apparently you are a huge Souls fan.
I am. And that I have so loved watching your stream and showing up and making sure that, balance is restored and you die as soon as I join in.
It is a running joke now. So for the benefit of our listeners who aren't aware of this, I usually have a little, everybody dies a lot in From Software games. That's kind of par for the course. But I'm usually on a pretty good run of not dying. And then Sarah will jump in the chat and then it will trigger a death. So I think, I don't know how she manages to do this, but it is clearly she's hacked my stream or something like that. and my game to say as soon as that she appears in the chat, it will like somebody will jump out at me and just slaughter me, and it's like, oh, okay, well, so that's my cue for Sarah to join the chat because that's my marker.
Yeah, that's my like kind of sort of lame superpower. I can show up and make you die.
So
At
how
least
did
it's
you?
only a game.
Yeah. So tell me about like how did you first get into the Dark Souls games, and what is it about them specifically that makes you like an avid From Softian Soulsborne fan and want to inflict the "you died" screen on all of your friends, especially me, because that's what happens.
How did I get introduced? So I mean, I'd heard about them for ages, and there's this kind of stigma with them that they're just horrible, and they you have to endure them, which is, I was like, they can't be that bad. And I was like, oh no, but maybe I'll just stick to games that I know I can just enjoy. And then friends of mine said, no, you've just platinumed God of War, you'll be fine. Go and play some Bloodborne. And so 4 of us got together. Actually, the 4 from Uncanny, we got together. So Connor and Paul and Steve and I started a game of Bloodborne together. And they'd all played before, all 3 of them except for me. So it was quite nice having someone there to be like, okay, so I see you're struggling with this bit. Try this, try this. I'm like, oh, thank God, I was stuck on that bit for ages. But I just think the games are, not only are they like visually beautiful, like the lore and everything that they create is amazing, but it's so satisfying when you do finally kick some big beastie's ass and you're like, yeah. Absolutely smashed him. It's so satisfying. But also and I love big boss fights anyway. So anything where the monster is like 10 times my size and I can still kill it, it's just like, yes, so good.
Yeah, it has that elation that few games can really match, right? It's like whenever you it's like a kind of running joke that like the first time you experience a boss, you're expected to die. Although you don't expect yourself to die a consecutive 20 or 30 times on back to back. It's like, because usually, and this is part of what kind of turns them off a little bit as well, is like the run to get to the boss is usually quite challenging as well. And then as soon as you enter the boss room, it's like insta death. And you're like, oh my God, I got to do the whole run again. But usually there's like ways to just like speed run past it. And then kind of like learn the patterns of the bosses. And then it's like, oh my God, I might actually do this. And then when it gets down to the wire, you think, oh my God, it's like him or me. We've both got so little health left. Who's going to get the hit in? And I don't know if this has happened to you before, but we've actually like struck at the same time and we've killed each other at the same time. And it's like, no, it's like I didn't get the pre-slaughtered kind of thing coming up. I thought, oh, and then I have to do the whole lot again. But
oh no!
Again, it's that okay. One more run. Let's do this because I know we can actually do this now and overcome these crazy designed bosses. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think the boss fights are my favorite bits. And it was me having defeated the Valkyries in God of War that made someone go, well, if you can do those, you'll definitely enjoy the Souls games. Because it's one of those things where you have to learn, you're like, okay, so these are their 10 moves or whatever, and they tend to go like, if you see this trigger or they move this arm up, you're like, great, get out of the way. Get underneath him, get behind him, give him a good whack on the back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like working out, okay, what are they going to do next? I mean, the one that I was really kind of struggling with last night was it was doing like the big old hands with the golden bangles and everything. It was an awesome, like visually awesome boss. And it's like, okay, I can know how to avoid the arm smashes and things like that and the skeleton spawning. Okay, I can overcome that. But then all of a sudden this bastard fog started just like spewing out. I'm like, where did that come from? That's a new mechanic that wasn't there before. What? And it's like, but then it's like, okay, so there's another like element coming in here that's trying to kill me, just like everything that is trying to kill you in these games. But once you kind of learn it, thinking, right, okay, now is when that's going to happen. Run away and then run back in and try and like poke him with a little cocktail stick equivalent of a weapon. It's like, okay, I took down 5 HP. Okay, then another 10 minutes of running around, 5 HP down. Just do the prodding and then you'll get there eventually. It's so
I
much fun,
think
though. It's so much fun.
there's also like a little sneaky spot somewhere like near his sort of armpit that you can get to. If he fogs, you can kind of get underneath him on the inside of him when he's fogging, and then you can just kind of give him a whack.
Pro tip.
Although it's very risky.
Yeah, he could just like slam you with his armpit or something. And that's not a good position to be in anybody's armpit. Really,
Nobody wants to be in the armpit.
No. And Bloodborne is obviously, I think it's your favorite so far. I'm still very little into obviously Dark Souls 3, but I think overall, like, Bloodborne is by far and away my favorite one, and the design of that game is just so exquisite. So come on, tell me what it is about Bloodborne that is made it your favorite one.
I think it's probably, well, in part, obviously it's gorgeous, but like I think it was my first proper experience with the style of games, and it's kind of like, oh, it's like my first love now, and it will it always will be, even when I play other games. And like I've started playing Jedi Fallen Order, which is Souls-like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bloodborne is like really special, and it's really fun. Like all the outfits, all the weapons, and having like an alt use for the weapon is really cool. Yeah, just think, and the big bads in it are so good. The boss fights are amazing.
They are. As you actually touched on a really interesting kind of cult fan part of the games is the clothing. Fashion shows is real. I get it now. And it's such a funny little thing to talk about. Whenever you talk to anybody in the fans, it's like, okay, I gotta equip everything. I gotta look good when I'm hunting all of these demons. It's like it's almost secondary to actually overcoming the enemies. It's like, yeah, but did I look amazing? Did I have the sparkle when I was dying horribly? That's all that matters.
Does my corpse look beautiful? Good.
It's so funny. It's like, wow, fashion shows really is a thing, and like once you get it, it's like, oh yeah, this hat goes with these gloves. These boots do not go with these leggings. We gotta mix it up. It's like, I know the stats are probably better, but this just simply will not do. We have to coordinate and look amazing.
Absolutely. It's got such a cool like it's almost like, Victorian era kind of gothic feel to it as well, which is great. Who doesn't love that vibe?
Absolutely. It's that like gothic baroque kind of architecture. It's all kind of got that kind of wetness kind of look to it, like rainy London or something. Like London, Prague, those kind of like European cities. But it's obviously shrouded in like horror, like anything. But I love the highwayman jacket and cap is like kind of like your starting outfit. It's like, I never want to change this. This outfit is just so goddamn cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like, it makes me want to go back and watch. I don't know if you've seen this. There's a movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf, which the front cover is so it's a French actor whose name I can't remember, but also the actor Marc Dacascos, who is an American martial arts actor. And it's all French. There is an English dub, but I wouldn't recommend it. But it's also got Vincent Cassel in it, and Italian actress whose name Monica Bellucci is in it as well. So it's got like a really great cast in it. But the cover is Bloodborne. Like it's got the highwayman like leather jacket coming up to the nose and the cap and everything like that. And it's about this kind of like werewolf kind of tale in France during the revolution, the French Revolution. And it's just amazing, like visually incredibly stylish, but it's also got that kind of gothic-y horror kind of slant to it as well. I've been trying to find a copy of it on like Blu-ray and stuff like that. Very difficult to get. I've got the old DVD. I'm going to dig it out because it's awesome. But whenever I see Bloodborne, I think that's Brotherhood of the Wolf. Like that's like they're so like visually linked, I think, in a kind of strange sort of way. But
I'd
definitely
love to
worth
watch
checking
that.
out.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Watch party. We're gonna do a watch party.
Woo!
Oh dear. But yeah, like there's so many amazing, awesome like mechanic shakeups in Bloodborne that I think that do make it for me anyway. Others of course may well disagree, but that make it so like inventive and faster and just almost easier to play at times. It feels like it's a little bit easier,
Yeah.
but it's still like really, really hard. But I just love the mechanics in that game. It's freaking brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. I do think the healing mechanic is a lot easier. You don't sort of feel so restricted in terms of, like, the Estus flasks are great, and it's quite good to have to be, you kind of have to be quite sparing and quite clever with how you use them. Whereas I feel like in Bloodborne, like I think I mentioned it briefly when you were on the stream last night, you can just go and farm for your heals and then you're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you feel like you can take more chances as well. It's not like if an enemy hits you, you're like, oh god, I'm most likely going to have to use an Estus flask to get that back. Whereas Bloodborne is like, no, I can go toe to toe with this enemy and get my health back. And as you said, like the big pool of blood vials, your healies, you can just like pop them, and then you're probably going to be able to farm them again as well. So it is more kind of like, it promotes not having to always run back to a bonfire, which I think is amazing, or stress about, oh god, where's the next bonfire? Because it in that sense, I think it really promotes like more exploration. You want to kind of go out and explore. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm hoping that kind of game mechanic and ethos is what's going into Elden Ring, about not constantly having to look for bonfires and being afraid to go out adventuring and exploring because I only have 3 blood vials or 3 healing potions or whatever it's going to be in Elden Ring. It's like, yeah, but if I wander too far away from this bonfire site, I'm going to just die and lose all my progress, and then I'm going to go all the way back there. And it's not really conducive to like an open world exploration game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, the fact that it is open world means that surely they'd want to encourage people to be exploring more. So yeah, maybe they'll consider a healing mechanic which allows people to do that. Or maybe it'll be like, so, have you played Jedi Fallen Order? Because the meditation points always seem to be very, very specifically placed and very clever and frequent enough to make you not feel like you have to double back very much. Like I felt like I didn't suffer too much. And it's always quite when you, I'm not very far through it, but when you face the first sister, the meditation point is literally a point where you can just run and then go down an elevator and then you're good. And it's like, oh, it's easy, it's nice. Whereas, I feel like not Bloodborne's all right, but I think Dark Souls is like, no, you have to run through at least 20 baddies, and you have to make sure you're ducking and weaving because this one's coming, that one's coming, they're coming from both sides. Yeah,
or you're sprinting and you think you're going to get past it, and they'll throw a ginormous coffee pot right at your head and they'll knock you on your ass and take away half your life. Thank you for that, enemy.
Angry baristas.
Those angry baristas. For anybody who's listening who doesn't understand the in-joke there, it was a running joke about an enemy type in Dark Souls 3 that looks like they're just like carrying this ginormous pot of coffee granules that they're so like angry at you for returning your coffee. This is the lore we made up. That they end up just saying, "Here, take it," and they throw the coffee pot of dirty, gross granules at you, and it wipes you out. I got knocked off the bridge so many times. Like the first guy knocked me off the bridge, and then I got past the first guy, and then the second guy knocked me off the bridge. I thought, oh my god, these guys are really angry with their coffee. Jesus.
Yeah, they are. They think they're really good at making coffee, but it turns out they're terrible. So they're always getting coffee returned.
Yeah. And the manager and the manager was the stray demon up in his high castle at the very top of the bridge. Oh god, lore invention is so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about classes. Who's your favorite class? Like who's your go-to when you're playing a Souls game? And also, that's like Elden Ring, what class are you wanting to go with Elden Ring as well?
Oh, I don't know. So my first, when I played Bloodborne, I had a very kind of dex heavy build because I really like being able to like whip my weapons around nice and quickly. And then when I played Dark Souls 3, I decided to go entirely the opposite and built almost like a paladin style fighter. So big swords and faith magic, which was cool. Yeah. It didn't serve me all that well, unfortunately. I think if you split yourself too much between things, you kind of suffer by not being quite good enough in either one of the two things.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to go back to more of a Dexy build, I think, for Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I haven't made any decisions yet. That's bad. It's so soon. It's less than a month.
You don't have an entire strategy all made out, ready to go? This is outrageous. You call yourself a Souls fan. What's this all about?
That was my plan for today.
I think you're right, though, because it's like I typically go, well, for Souls anyway, I like a big sword and a big old shield, and I like to have I don't like a fat roll. I like a fast roll. Oh, yeah. So I try to do a bit of stamina, a bit of strength, and a bit of health, and I kind of go between those three all the time. But Bloodborne said, "Man, I love the speed of this," and I didn't miss my shield at all, and I love the gun to as a parry mechanic.
Oh yeah,
loved all of that, and I thought I'm going Dark Souls. Maybe I should go full Dex build and just two-hand it and not worry about my shield. But I don't know. There's something about Dark Souls. I always feel terrified not having a shield. And I always go back to a really slow, methodical like play style. Whereas because everything was built around speed and movement for Bloodborne, I adapted to that quite easily, and I loved it. But I don't know. I don't know if I can go full speed and I'm vulnerable in Dark Souls because it's a different feel, a different vibe to everything, and the cadence of the combat and everything. I don't know. Maybe we need to try
I know
it.
What you mean. In our recent starting of Dark Souls 2, I'm building more of a magic build. So that's been interesting because I haven't really done that at all. Yeah. So, you know, high int, and what's the other thing? I think I put a little bit in Dex as well because you have like I have like an offhand dagger, so I can just kind of whip that around if I get too close.
It's prod them, nothing else. Yeah, exactly. Stay back, beastie, go away.
It's quite fun to have like magical projectiles at the start, but the thing is like the casting time when you're still early on is really frustrating, and you'll sort of be going, okay, fire at him. Oh my god, I've got like another 5 seconds until I actually hit him. And by this point, he's already running towards you, so you're like, trying to double back.
Totally. I know. I'm excited for the caster abilities in Elden Ring because it looks like they're like really going to town with magic in that as well, and it's like from the reveal trailers and everything, the spells just look incredible. Like there's one where it looks like clouds just opened up above the enemy, and then a whole bunch of arrows just like shot down from these like vortex clouds that just appeared from nowhere. I'm thinking, oh my god, this looks absolutely amazing. So I think I've never done a full magic build before. I've always done kind of like you, where it's like a paladin class, but I think in Elden Ring, it looks like the paladin class is going to be way more effective because really, really good with the sword, fast and faster casting as well. So, God, I'm just so excited about this game. I can't believe. And I'm like new to a new fan, so I've only had to wait like 6 months to be like really hyped for Elden Rings. Whereas everyone else is like, I've been waiting years. You son of a bitch! You haven't earned this. You haven't earned it.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, exactly. Coming in here at the last minute, just get to pick it up off the shelf and enjoy it. You son of a gun.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to having a mount as well, to having a horse. Doing some like off the back of the horse combat and fighting the big bads. That'd be fun.
It's totally different, right? It's like there is. I know. I'm still a little bit wary, but also like the confidence that we have in From Software, they're probably going to nail it. But like taking the format, taking the formula, and blowing it out to an open world, it's like there's that trepidation. It's like, oh, but is it still going to feel like that brilliantly crafted Metroidvania level design where everything loops back on itself and you get your mind blown when you discover a shortcut and you're thinking, how does this loop back here? I was like way off in this direction and the starting point is way over here and I've just opened the gate and now I'm back here. What? Mind blown. So I hope there's still like elements of that. But I do kind of worry a little bit because Yarnum is probably my favorite world for how they did that, and that was because of I'd immediately come off of the first game, which like everything practically always comes back to Firelink Shrine, and it just blows you away. It's like, how did this come back to Firelink Shrine, or very close to Firelink Shrine? And Yarnum felt like that as well, where it felt like the the one kind of world that was all linked and looping back on itself, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of worried, but also like super excited to see how they do it for an open world context.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be like almost like dungeon style, like you get to the entrance of something, and then once you get in there, that becomes more like like what the levels are like already. But yeah, it'd be interesting because I when you think about it, it being open world would mean that it probably wouldn't have much of that in it. But maybe they'll find a way to mix it up.
I hope so.
Both.
I'm sure they will. It's from Software. This is going to be like their big title that they're maybe even the future of the studio for this new like world and universe. They're not going to like mess it up. I don't think they're going to be. They're going to do an amazing job.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I mean everything they've done so far has been great.
Yeah, and
even if you don't really like Dark Souls 2, I still think it's good.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I've heard it's like as a standalone. If you can treat it as like a standalone like action adventure RPG, it's very good. But because it going like side by side with Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, it's the weakest out of the three, but it's still good. So you know, I'm definitely
it's kind of like
play it.
It's kind of like if you've seen Grease 2. So Grease 1, obviously, classic Grease. It's amazing. Grease 2, it's like just don't call it Grease 2, because otherwise everyone's going to compare it to Grease. And Grease 2, as a film on its own, if it was just called Oil or I don't know, something Slick, I don't know, anything other than Grease, then it would be great.
Was that the one with Matthew Caulfield and Michelle Pfeiffer? In the leads instead of Olivia in Mr. Travolta. Honestly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially, they just reversed it so that the girl was the cool girl.
That's
and he was like the nerdy boy. So it's basically it's the exact same story, just in reverse. Which I see, that's why it is Grease 2. But
yeah. Oh man. It's been a while since I played. Is the music any good in Grease 2? I can't actually remember how it goes.
It's really good.
So long. Wow.
It's really good. There's so Michelle Pfeiffer sings her song, which is Cool Rider, great song. And there's also like a song that they sing in biology class that's called Reproduction, which is very fun.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything else, but those two are like iconic. Definitely worth a rewatch, and don't call it Grease 2, and then you'll enjoy it.
We're gonna have a marathon then. I'm gonna say Jess, we'll have to watch Grease and then Grease 2, and then maybe Xanadu as a cleansing palette, because I don't think she's seen Xanadu.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah,
has to be done. Has to be done. So what? Before I want to talk a little bit about this not for broadcast project that you tweeted about. If we can.
Yeah.
Tell me all about this.
Oh my goodness. So I'm so lucky to have had the opportunity to be in that game. So let me like rewind right to when I first met the boys who are the devs of Not for Broadcast. So they made a video games company. Oh, there'll be all those rums from last night. They formed their video games company ages ago, and they had a game called Not GTA or something like that, and it's basically a piss take of Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
And it did quite well in terms of the indie scene, and then they wanted to actually make something bigger and legitimate, and they sort of invested this idea of doing full motion video, and now they hold a Guinness World Record for having the most full motion video hours in a video game.
Wow.
Something like, I can't remember how many, like, is it like 470 or something insane, absolutely insane. Yeah, and I'm in some of that, which is very cool. In two moments of that. So they filmed a level in lockdown. Originally, I was meant to be doing stuff in studio with them, but then obviously COVID happened. Everyone was stuck at home. They didn't want to. They didn't want to not have something bubbling away, and so they wrote this entire level that was. It was kind of paralleled to the COVID situation we were having, all based around a killer soft toy called Mr. Snugglehugs, and
Great name. That's
And
such a
this
good name.
little snuggle hugs is going around essentially killing people, and so everyone has to stay in their homes. So there was a nice like parallel to what was happening in the real world. And I played this psychic scientist who tries to they say really obvious stuff and try and pass it off as predicting the future.
Right.
There's one point where the question is, Delia, when do you think that we're going to come out of lockdown and be able to go outside again? And she turns around and says, when the skies are blue, when there are birds flying through the sky, when the grass is green. And everyone's like, yes.
Deep. That was really insightful. Thank you for that. Yeah.
It's very funny, and it's also got loads of really amazing, poignant moments as well. It really tugs at your heartstrings. It's really, really cleverly written, really funny, and the actual like game itself, being able to control what people see on the news, has these amazing repercussions in terms of your own personal life, your character that you play, and also what happens in the world. So it's very cool, and I would definitely recommend it. At the moment, it's just on PC, but I think they're porting it to all consoles as well.
I hope so because I love like really like biting satire in games that have like a kind of poignant message to say, but also really poke fun at it. It could be so entertaining and really good fun.
It's very clever in that sense, and it's got this kind of when you're looking at the politics of the world that they've created, they sort of had extreme left and extreme right, and you can side yourself with whichever of that you want to, and that will have different outcomes depending on what you choose. So it's got a choose your own adventure feel to it as well. It's very cool.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm excited for that. So how did that come about? Did they just get in touch with you? Were they familiar with your like the talent agency that represents you, like, or did you just say, "Put me in a game, please"?
I just walked up to the door and I was like, "I'm here. You're welcome.
Cast me in anything." Yes.
No, I'm actually very lucky to be friends with 2 of the 4 devs. We all met playing D&D together, and then
cool.
Yeah, then when they were casting for the game, they asked if I wanted to be in it, and I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." And I'm very lucky to appear again later on in the game, but I won't tell you too much about that because I told someone about it the other day, and I went, "Oh, hang on a minute, that's a spoiler." Sorry.
Whoops. Yeah. Man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see this because I remember in like the would it be the 90s or maybe early 2000s of like PC gaming, we used to have so many FMV video games, like loads of different ones, like flight sims, whether it was like Command and Conquer, we had Kane as filming the actors and dropping them in, or like Wing Commander and other games where it was full motion video. And it seems like it's coming back, but just in more like kind of indie development. And I find it really funny sometimes because like we're always in the pursuit, or the industry is always in the pursuit of like photorealistic graphics, but we used to have actual video for the games, actual actors filmed and put into the game as well. It's like, oh, can we bring back that, because it was so effective, it was so cool, rather than having to like realistically render out 3D models, which looks amazing, of course, but there's something kind of, I don't know, old school brilliant about FMV in video games as well. It's absolutely really quite awesome. Yeah.
It's really cool what they've done as well, because I feel like with other games, it feels like it's integrated into the story and it's just an element that happens in the game, whereas it's actually a primary thing in not for broadcast, because literally what you're doing is you have your 4 camera angles, or things that you can put on the news, and if that video wasn't there, it wouldn't work. It is literally, it's a key component to the actual game itself.
It sounds
cool.
It sounds really
cool.
Interesting and really kind of different as well. I can't wait to check it out. I've only had a PC to test out the game just now. I'm gonna have to wait for the inevitable Switch port and see what's going to happen there. But I'm excited for that. Yeah, God. So what else is are you working on anything else that you can talk about at the moment, or anything else you want to
doing?
blather? What are you doing, Sarah?
What am I doing? Oh. We're working on season 2 of our podcast for Uncanny Collective.
Excellent.
Which is exciting. Yeah, we actually have someone who was a voice in one of the. Was he in Dark Souls or was he in Bloodborne? Let me have a look.
What?
I know. He's a friend of mine. It's very cool.
Well, you know what you're going to have to do now? Like Elden Ring 2, you're going to have to get a lead spectral spirit boss character on your resume.
That would be so cool.
Oh, amazing.
I would love to do that. That would literally be like game-changing levels of cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And also ask him what's happening with Bloodborne 2. You know, chin him about that. Where's Bloodborne 2, goddammit? It's got to know.
Tell us the secrets. Tell us now. I'm trying to find it. It's not working. Oh, well. Yeah. No, but I know he's in it. He was also in Battlefield, the one that came out recently.
Oh, cool. Wow.
If you've played that. He's Boris in that.
Voice acting is
Dark
so
Souls
cool.
3. He's a Geralt of the Undead Settlement.
Oh, okay. I think I've been to the Undead Settlement. I probably chopped him in half, maybe at some point.
He probably deserved it.
Yeah. Don't
trust anyone.
Coming at me with a pitchfork. How dare you? Poke. You're dead. Be gone.
Yeah. So he's in one of the pieces that we're doing, which is very cool. So we'll be hopefully launching that just before Valentine's Day, as a nice little Valentine's treat. And I have an audiobook that I'm doing in March.
Fab. Come on, tell me about that. If you can.
I actually don't know too much about it, which is super weird. I don't even have the book yet, so that's good. But it's by the same author that I did an audiobook for at the end of last year. She's an Australian author. So I believe this one is also set in the outback of Australia, which is great. We love the outback. But the last one I did, it was everything was about the bushfires. So that was quite intense, actually.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, it was very cool. So I don't know if this one's... I'm pretty sure it's set in the outback, but I don't know anything else about it. So that'd be fun.
Well, stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit up Audible and say, okay, Sara Lynam audiobooks. Where is it? I want to listen to it.
There's a few on there already, actually. So yeah, check them out.
Fab. And also, just recently, you did some big epic concert, I believe, well.
I just casually went over to Macedonia, sung with their Philharmonic Orchestra.
Jeez, what was that like? Tell us about that.
It felt like a whirlwind, because that's probably one of the biggest singing gigs I've ever done. So that was amazing. It was.
Wait, you can sing?
I can sing.
You can sing?
I dabble. I'm all right.
Okay. Yeah, multi-talented. Jeez, oh.
Actually, I think a lot of voice actors that I've met also sing, and I think it's something to do with like maybe having more of an awareness of tones and pitch shifting and stuff like that. It's not like a prerequisite, but I think it is quite common for voice actors to also be singers.
Yeah.
And I have a singing gig in May. But we're not officially talking about that yet. But that's happening. So I'm singing in May as well.
Fantastic. So you're very, very busy. Very busy.
Yeah.
And that's great to hear and great to see.
It's pretty cool. And also it's Year of the Tiger this year, which is my year. So more cool stuff's going to happen, hopefully. I'm going to be pushing for getting some more video game work. That'd be super fun.
It would be. It'd be so cool. What would be like the one that you would love to be a part of? If not all of them. I want to be a part of all of the projects, all of the games.
I mean, obviously Elden Ring, that would be great. But I think like if I could be in God of War Ragnarok, that would be incredible.
Wow, yeah. And a Norse god, maybe?
Yeah. It's got to be like boss tier. I want to be getting like sliced up with an axe.
By Kratos, yeah. You don't want to be like a little insignificant peasant or something like that. You want to be like showcase boss.
Yeah.
Like trying to kick the ass of Kratos, but then ultimately getting slaughtered.
Yeah. That's my goal. That's my ultimate.
God, I'm so excited for Ragnarok. I don't know if it's going to be coming out this year or not, but if it does, oh my goodness. I wonder if they're going to do anything like the Valkyries in the next one. You know how that was like end game boss kind of boss challenges. I wonder what they're going to do for the next one. Because visually it just looks insane. It's like, how on earth are games looking this good? It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but we're so lucky to be in this kind of golden age of video games. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, especially because we can remember what they used to look like at 8-bit graphics and 16-bit colors.
Tiny little character that just goes.
I know. And now there's like skyscraper giants and creatures and all this kind of stuff, and this kind of fidelity is insane. God, we're so lucky to get to play games like this, and of course, and you even more so because you get to be a part of the actual development of them by being characters in them, and getting a behind the scenes look at the process and everything is very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it is very cool.
So, what are you looking forward to gaming wise for the rest of the year?
So many things. Obviously Elden Ring, Horizon Zero Dawn. That's going to be awesome. Obviously,
so close as well.
I know, so close to like we have that, and then we have Elden Ring, and it's the space and time between those is 10 days, I think, something.
Yeah,
something like
it's obscene. I know.
Yeah. I think, is there something coming out in the next couple of days? I've completely blanked on what it is. Dying Light 2.
Yes, that looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that as well. And there's a title on PlayStation called Sifu, which looks amazing as well. Which is like a kind of I don't know if it's a roguelike or not, but it's like a martial arts game, free flowing martial arts game. And what seems to happen, I guess, from like the trailer and stuff, is when every run your character gets older. So and it just looks insane. Apparently that's like in a couple of weeks as well. It's like, why is February so jam packed? What the heck is going on? Is this these are all the games that were supposed to come out in November and December, and they just pumped them all to February, and now February is just looking insane. Like,
it is looking absolutely insane.
There's no time.
I should just not do anything other than play video games, I think. Yeah. That seems like a totally reasonable response, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. The bills can get paid that way, can't they? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Sure they. Yeah.
We've got so much fun to look forward to. And
I'm also looking forward to Stray. Stray, the game where you play as a cat.
The cat. Yes. What? Like, who would have thought that game would like steal the show when it got shown off?
Mm-hmm.
Cats and backpacks, that's all you need.
It's a winner.
Oh, Sarah, it's been amazing chatting to you again. Thank you so much for being my guest today. Camera issues notwithstanding, it's been a wonderful chat. Audio is golden, that's all we care about. The video is a bonus. But it's been an absolutely brilliant episode 68 of the Weekend Catch-Up Club podcast. So friends, thank you so much for listening and for watching. Support the channel as much as you can. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, I will be back for episode 69. And I think Jamie's going to dial in for that one. So stay tuned to that. Until next time, everybody, take care and happy gaming. Bye-bye.
Bye.